use tool number 2 today. Welcome to What You Up To Now, day 3,120 today. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, documenting the journey originally as I moved from the brick and mortar corporate world of businesses and corporations, working in corporate, to the online world. And that was back in 2017. Closed and sold my Italian food manufacturing business in 2016. In November, went on a big long trip with my daughter and helped her move from Montana to Colorado to meet her husband. And he was doing the lineman training back then. So I digress. Anyway, been online since then and done a little bit of both online and offline in my own businesses, as well as helping other people grow and scale their businesses, both offline and online since then. And today we are talking about, and this is the first year we've done an annual challenge. I call it Supersize Challenges because we're doing one for personal development, the Supersize You Annual Challenge, and we're doing one for Supersize Your Business Community and Group to help people scale and grow their business in a way that allows them to do one little thing a day to create massive growth, massive action, massive scaling, massive improvement in their business. And not just improvement, in many instances, dramatic changes in the way they do their business and how they show up for their business and how it impacts their entire life. Because we look at it from a systemic whole entity approach using 9 life framework area: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, which we're focusing on this month, communication, confidence, relationships, financial, what am I forgetting? Contribution. I think I forgot contribution. Let's just look so I don't forget. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, contribution, communication, and confidence. And this month we're focusing on spiritual health and well-being. And our tool today, since I brought it up, tool number 2 is journaling. It's writing things down. And so our challenge is to, for 10 minutes today, if you're not a journaler, just whatever you're doing, set a timer for 10 minutes and just free write whatever pops into your head. And then look at it. It's a great way to be more self-aware, right? A lot of times we're just going through the motions of our day and we're not even thinking about how we're feeling, how things are impacting us, how we're responding and reacting, how our behavior is getting triggered by certain things that are happening around us that might not even have anything to do with us. So I think it's an incredibly powerful practice to get in touch with who we are, what we stand for, what's important to us, what patterns we're repeating that we don't even know that we're repeating, things like that. And I did share in Supersize You, but I forgot to share it in Supersize Your Business because people probably already know this, but you can talk to AI now. And AI, one of the strengths of AI, in my opinion, is that it has the ability to recognize patterns. It has looked at everything that everybody's ever put in it, which makes it really good at seeing patterns. So, for example, I have a lot of patterns. We all do. We all work on patterns and habits and behaviors, and we have cycles of behaviors. I never knew before, but after the fact, looking back on my life in corporate America, I realized that at about the 3-year point in any job or role I'd had, I had done everything I wanted to do. I'd made all the improvements I wanted to make in that area, and I was ready for a new challenge and a new job. So if I wasn't going to get a promotion with that company at that point, then I started to look for something else because I got dissatisfied with the amount of growth I could make and the impact I could have in that organization. I didn't realize that when I was doing it. It wasn't until after the fact, when I left corporate America, that I was noticing, even in my own business, at the 3-year mark of focusing on that, I started to get itchy feet. And guess what we did? We started other businesses. And so pretty soon, instead of running one business, I was running 6. And that was a little bit too much based on my personal experience at one time. Because, and I can look back now and see the patterns of why it felt like too much. We didn't have the technology that we have today to automate things and systematize them. We didn't have the systems and the key people in place to help me do those things. And so there were just holes, and I was so in it that I didn't have the time and energy to work on it and to build those systems and put them in place. Well, I learned after I had a sudden cardiac arrest that was imperative. It was very important that I do that, and that I change certain areas and aspects of my life that were definitely not working out in my favor. They were not good for me. They weren't good for me as a human. They weren't good for my soul. They weren't good for my spirit. They were not good for me at all. And that event, as traumatic as that probably was to other people, more so than me, it was my wake-up call to say, all right, you've been ignoring these things long enough. Time to make a change. Time to set your boundaries and actually live by them. So, doing that, today I've got a super busy week. Crazy, crazy busy week. We've got a workshop in the Supersize Your Business community on the school platform. Our first workshop done by someone else, somebody who's a member of the community now, but it's going to be a great workshop. I'm really excited about it. It's about backing yourself up is what she calls it. And I love it, but it's about the power of procrastination and how sometimes we use it in ways that benefit us, because there's so much out there that says, oh, procrastination is bad. You're a procrastinator. You're not doing what you say you're whatever, you know? And the truth is nothing is good or bad. There's a positive element and a negative element to everything. There's good and evil to everything. Everything good that can be used for good can be used for evil. I hate that about it, but it's true, right? It just is. All right. So I'm excited about that because I actually used AI to help me Oh, I was wrong. I thought it was a one sheet, but there's two things on the back. I did ask it to leave me an area for notes and things worth remembering. So it's still one sheet, right? And it has all my important meetings. And then it's got my three, I call them revenue generating activities, 3 things that I've committed to myself that I am doing to build and grow and scale my business. Because guess what? If I'm not building and growing and scaling my business, who am I to tell and teach and help other people to do theirs? That would be hypocritical and BS, and I don't stand for that. So I'm excited because I guess it's been one sheet if I do both sides for a couple weeks now. So now I'm not as impressed with myself as I was. And if I had more scheduled meetings and calls, it would be longer anyway. And actually, I want it to be a bunch of those. So for the next month or two, if I can help you in any way, please reach out and ask. If you got a question, if you're struggling with something, if you're excited about something, feel free to share it. Just let me know. It's Sunday, so this is my planning day for this rest of this week. I have one training call today, but that's, an hour and a half, so that's not a big deal. So if you get me during that time, you might have to wait an hour or an hour and a half to get an answer. But otherwise, I'm here. I don't share it very often, but I do have a Voxer handle. If anybody really, really needs to get a hold of me, that's my favorite way. And I usually say that for my high-ticket coaching clients and consulting clients because I don't want it to get bogged down. But it's not bogged down right now because we're at a really even keel right now, which feels awesome. All right. If I can help you, ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.